Hi, everybody. So, this is my second time recording this because the first time it ran a bit too long and I can't edit. So, welcome to my website, the purpose of which is to be a resource for anybody who's going to use a youth services department at the library. So, kids, teens, parents, and librarians. And I have sections for each. So, my parent section is mostly nonfiction and some memoirs. Some are for examining how to be a better ally to trans kids, and some are stories of parents of trans children. This one I also made sure to include sex is a funny word because finding sex ed books with gender neutral terminology that doesn't overly gender puberty as an experience is kind of tricky to find, and I felt more comfortable putting it with the parenting books. I also have my bibliography, so schnazzy. The kids section's a bit longer because I have picture books, novels, and one nonfiction book. I edited these and tried to figure out what I would use based on, is it either very distinct, is it either very well known, covers a topic that nobody knows, or something. There's a lot of books that aren't on here. There are a lot of great books out there, but if I included every single chapter or picture book that was a trans book, it would mostly, unfortunately, be coming out stories. So I tried to limit that, made sure to include some genre fiction like The Fantastic Not Your Sidekick, and of course my number one love, Rick Riordan's Magnus Chase series. Nonfiction, I just picked one book because it's something that I personally recommend all the time to patrons at my library. It's really quick and easy. It has terminology that is more down to earth and kid friendly without being like, hey, if you're a boy and you like dresses, you're trans. That's it. Sometimes if you're a boy and you like dresses, you just like dresses. Sometimes if you're a trans girl, then you don't have to like and wear dresses. It's very good at making those differentiations. Got my, again, schnazzy bibliography. Teens is going to be a little bit shorter because I don't have picture books. I do have a graphic novel, but I mixed the graphic novel in with my novels. Most of the novels are going to be either genre fiction or ones that are really, really good, because there are a lot of excellent books out there, again, but there's only so many times you can write a summary for a coming out trans narrative. My nonfiction section, these, I kind of went by the same rule. I didn't want to do the same old sort of binary trans coming out narrative in my nonfiction books. Again, those are amazing and those are great, but I wanted something that was a little bit more in depth, a little bit less surface level. There is some of that, but it wasn't my main focus. My librarians tab is more focused on programming than finding books, because the idea is that they can look at the other tabs and find books that way. So I have sort of basic ideas on how to make any program more inclusive just by the language you use. Then I have two different tabs, one for story times or different kids programs, and each story time will have a song or two songs and three books, and I wrote these all down myself. Most of the songs are going to be from Jaybrary, which is a storytime resource I use all the time, and they're not like a specifically trans storytime resource, but they are a lifesaver to me on a whenever I have storytime basis. So I've got that. The teen one is going to be a little bit more general things you can include, or programs that let trans teens express themselves in ways that are easily accessible. So like a zine workshop, we host one, but if you hosted one maybe during Pride Month or as part of like the Trans Day of Visibility or something like that, it can encourage queer kids and teens to express themselves in ways that they could be like, hey, I really like making zines, and then they start making zines on their own as a form of self-expression. Pronoun buttons, which aren't like a program, but it's something you can add to programs. Just at teen programs is a big help, or not a big help, but it's a big hit. For a lot of our teen programs, we leave out button templates and our button press, and kids come up with all sorts of fun, crazy, creative things. Maybe having a makeup artist or somebody from a local beauty school come in and talk about makeup. Again, not inherently trans, but it's a good way for kids to express themselves. This one was mostly inspired by one of the teens in my library. He's a regular, he is a trans man, and his favorite thing to do is he will go up to everybody and he will do your makeup. I don't know if there's any teen or staff member whose makeup he hasn't done, so this is kind of a shout out to him. And then just my contact information on that tab. Doesn't really need much to go into, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me or leave a comment. I really appreciate your time, and I bet all of your websites are phenomenal. Thanks so much.